Wants to hear your views? You can SMS at any time during the show. Type Spectrum, leave a space, type in your contribution and name, then send it to 7197. Your views, our interviews on Spectrum, Radio 1 FM 90.
A very warm welcome. This is Spectrum on Radio 1. My name is Edmond Chizito, your host. On Spectrum tonight, the return of the walk-to-work protests. Should the activists behind these protests be allowed to operate? The Activists for Change, A4C, have announced that the walk-to-work protests, which dominated the political and security landscapes for much of last year, are set to resume tomorrow. The Ugandan police, the legally mandated force to deal with the public peace and protection of property, has advised the activists not to carry out the protests. Last year, FDC President Dr. Kizza Besigye was brutally attacked by security operatives, while other political leaders and Ugandans who took part in the protests were arrested and charged with offences, which were later nullified by the courts of law. After returning from the US, where he underwent treatment for injuries to his eyes, Dr. Besigye was held at his home in what police called preventive arrest when he tried to walk from his home in Kasangati. Many other people were beaten and shot at. Some ended up in hospitals, while others, including 2-year-old girl Abigail Julian Nalwanga of Masaka, lost their lives. Government has attributed the economic troubles that Uganda is facing today partly on the negative impact of the protests on grounds that production was disrupted and tourists were scared away. While government insists that the protests are aimed at regime change, the Activists for Change maintain that the protests are simply aimed at opening the eyes of the government to the economic challenges that Ugandans face today. It's likely that the Activists for Change and the police are headed for yet another standoff should the protests be relaunched tomorrow. So tonight we ask, should the Activists for Change be allowed to carry out what they are calling peaceful walk-to-work protests? Our guests tonight, Hon Mathias Mpuuga, Masaka Municipality Mp, also Shadow Minister for the Presidency and Anti-Corruption. He is also the coordinator of the Activists for Change who are behind the walk-to-work protests. You're most welcome, Hon Mpuuga.
Thank you, Edmund, and a good evening, listeners.
We're also joined by someone from the police force, Mr. Asuman Mugyenyi, Acting Assistant Inspector General of Police, also Director of the Police Political Commissariat and Spokesman of the Ugandan Police Force. You're most welcome, Mr. Mugyenyi.
Thank you. Good evening, dear listeners.
Mr. Mpuuga, the government says you're bent on disrupting public order. Why do you do this?
Well, the question would be whose government? If you're talking about government, I am part of government. So for anybody to insinuate that we are trying to disrupt peace is actually testifying to their lack of information on what constitutes governance and the role of a citizen and the role of leaders. So we have never failed to articulate openly our objectives, and if anybody out there tries to impute ill motive on what we openly proclaim as our objectives, it's their business. I'm not about to be drawn into accepting other people's insinuations about my intentions, because I have variously, with the colleagues, made my objects very clear to all and sundry. They are in ink. I have written to the media. I have been contributing to debates, public debates, and I have never at one time digressed from our objectives. So for anybody to try to attempt to impute other forms of objectives out of their own imaginations, drawn out of their own fears perhaps, I mean, that's not my business. We have made our objectives very clear at the FOC that the objectives of our demos, you see, when we call for demos, they are demos, and the kind of activity we're actually holding tomorrow is not a demo per se. We are holding a rally.
Yes.
And I don't know when a rally constitutes a demo.
Give us some details on that rally, first of all.
Well, the rally is going to be held tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Katwe.
Yes.
There's a place called the Freedom Tree. Asuman knows it so well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on.
We've held rallies several there. And It has been the invitations by the area MP, the woman MP for Kampala City, the Honorable Nabila, is one of the activists and area member of parliament, and we shall be there
at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
What will you be telling the people?
We shall be communicating. You see, it's the rally meant to share with the people. It's when you're a leader, the mistake you can make is to stand on the high pedestal and proclaim that you know what the people want. We would like to go out there and share with the people. We would like to listen to the people, because we have our own view of life. They have their own appreciation of things out there. We would like to communicate, we have to share with them. We would like to hear from them, so that we can speak from a better point of view and knowledge. Not because we do not know, but it's very, very important that we go out there as leaders on the one hand, and as Uganda on the other hand, and share with the common man. We would like to go and speak to them. We shall invite them to share with us their experiences,
Yes.
especially in these economic troubled times.
So get some feedback.
Certainly.
Yes.
They are always meant to get feedback, and then we shall see what next after listening to the people.
All right.
This is going to be one of the several rallies we intend to hold nationally, outside Kampala, purely to solicit and share ideas and information with the general public. It's a form of feedback.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mr. Mugyenyi, can you give us some details on how you plan to ensure security tomorrow? Traffic guidelines, what they should do, what they should not do, what to carry, what not to carry.
Well, incidentally, I'm learning from here that they are planning to hold a rally at where? You said where? Katwe?
In Katwe, freedom.
We are not aware.
What's your job in the police force, Mugyenyi?
I'm a spokesperson of the Uganda Police Force.
Go on.
And the Inspector General, I've been with him even before I came here, has not received any communication. Even the commander, Kampala Metropolitan, is not aware of this planned rally. It's not because that we, of course, that you need permission to hold a rally. No, that's
Have you
not,
seen a copy of this letter?
Go on.
Kawesa?
Go on.
I have not. Please give me a chance to explain. I'm telling you my part. You talk to your side. You may have come with this copy to this studio. I have not seen this copy, and I'm telling you, you have not deposited this. I've talked to Kawesa, I've talked to the Inspector General, and they have told me they have not received any communication.
Or they told you hadn't received any communication?
Any communication about. That's why I'm surprised.
About the rally?
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised.
They knew about it, but they hadn't received a formal communication.
No, they are not aware.
Or they're hearing about it now?
We have
What are
only
you
read
responding to?
in the media.
Yes.
No, I've been invited for this talk show.
Go on.
It was not me who applied to come here. We invited.
Go on.
And I came. I didn't know that I would meet you. I
Go
was
on.
not even told the subject.
Go on.
Yeah. So, what is important is that I don't know even when is this letter dated, because if you had been communicated to us, I would not be pretending. I'm not a pretender. So we request you, we need to work together. We need to work together so that there is, whether you are holding a rally, whether you are having a meeting, police has a duty. We are mandated to ensure even your safety.
All right.
And the safety of members of the public.
Okay.
We don't know how many people you have invited. We don't know the category of people you have invited. And of course, even you at times have failed to control the people you invite. So that's why police is very important and is required when you're organizing such events.
All right. So basically, I believe by the time we leave this discussion, you'll have had all the details you need. So between tomorrow morning and 2 o'clock,
Of course.
you should have been able to prepare the necessary traffic officers.
It's not a question of only traffic officers. There are other issues. We have so many activities going on.
Go on.
So, I remember a Human Rights Commission issued guidelines that if there is any activity of this kind, please give us a notice of 5 days. At least even 3 days. That If I'm learning it from the studio,
It's going to be difficult.
I don't know how you expect police really.
Okay. So if there was a miscommunication, if this letter landed on your desk tomorrow is Thursday,
We can plan.
they can do it on Monday.
We can plan.
You don't have a problem with FOC holding
I
the
don't know whether it is FOC or whether it is whatever.
Well, they'll give you a letter.
In Uganda, you can come and we plan together.
Mr. Honorable Mpuuga, why don't you give these people time? Give them notice, 3 days.
Well, Edmund, for the benefit of our listeners, I think you can take us to another debate because it becomes difficult when you are debating with a person at his age and level in the police.
No.
Go on.
It's not a question.
Go on, let him go.
He looks into the microphone and speaks with dishonesty at that level.
Did you give him this letter?
I hold back.
Can you
Did you
get
give
where
him
it is
let's
stamped?
Did you give him a letter?
This letter was
Is it
written.
stamped? Because our procedure
You now
is
see.
that
Which is
if
dated
no,
now.
You
Go
now
on.
see.
No.
Talk
Go
about
on.
stamp.
Let's walk it slowly.
I-
It's
when
not
we
a
receive
matter.
letters, our registries
Oh my
stamp
God. Go on.
indicating
I don't
that we have
know.
received.
Surely,
Don't tell lies.
I find it difficult
Yes.
to debate with an old man in this age.
Let's keep it civil.
And-
Honorable Mpuuga, let's keep it civil.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
You wrote a letter. I've seen it here.
Yes.
It's dated the 16th of January.
You could have even written
It's not.
today.
Was it received?
no
Who received
evidence.
it? Normally they write somewhere.
Yeah, we stamp on our letters we receive
Yeah,
in our
that's the
registries.
This is a copy.
Yeah, we stamp what happens, our
The
procedure.
Kampala Metropolitan Police Office received this letter.
Did he acknowledge it? Because normally they sign somewhere.
They acknowledged receipt.
Where is
of this
it?
letter.
You prove. We are here in the studio. He's a witness.
No, if you want to prove,
Yeah, you
you go
evidence.
to Kawesa's
I've
office.
been with Kawesi.
That's why I find it difficult to debate with him.
No.
All right, let's go beyond the
that's what I
debate.
find
Honorable Mpuuga, some people think you want to foment
Because,
No, it's okay, let's forget about the debate. Some people think you want to foment an Arab Spring uprising. You want to overthrow the government. Why do you want to do that?
well, if I want to overthrow government, if somebody stop me in my tracks, he knows, the police is aware of what is illegal and what is legal, what is unlawful and what is lawful.
Yes.
For them to go up there and pretend that they know, that they have intelligent information to the effect that we would like to overthrow government is so pretentious. And if you're Uganda interested in peace and the progress of this country, I think all you need is the truth. If I want to overthrow government, will I do it alone?
Well, that's why you call people.
I would go out there. I've held open rallies. Nowhere have I communicated that my intention is to overthrow government.
Well, you might
I
hide it.
actually know how governments are overthrown.
You might hide it.
Hide it and then do what? Do it alone?
Well, do it all of a sudden.
No, I
Just bring
think
a surprise.
let's go back to the basics. The whole concept of overthrowing government or not removing government is actually panic on the side of the government in power. And when they try to drum that up and try to sell that kind of crap to an unsuspecting public, they are easily believable, especially drawing from what happened in the Arab world and drawing parallels as to the socio-economic political environment that obtained then in these countries. Then you compare it to what is happening here. I think they are right to believe that what actually befell governments of the ilk could easily befall them.
Right,
So I wouldn't blame them.
All right.
We'll
get an interpretation of it.
to speculate.
We'll get you to explain to us in detail what you mean by that. You speaking in couched, hidden language. Listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. Tonight, the return of the walk to work protest. Should the activists behind this protest be allowed to operate? They've announced a rally tomorrow in Katwe. Tonight, our guests, Hon Mathias Mpuuga, Masaka Municipality Mp, and Mr. Also coordinator of the activists for change A4C who are behind the walk to work protest, and Mr. Asuman Mugyenyi, acting assistant inspector general of police, also spokesman of the Ugandan police force. Mr. Mugyenyi, do you have any information that these people want to overthrow the government using
I'm hearing, I have not heard even in my talk imputed that they want.
Well, the inspector general of police said that sometime back.
Maybe he said it, but as of now, I don't have that information that they want to overthrow the government. What we are saying is that they are free to demonstrate, but let's work together. I'm surprised when the Honorable insists that he has informed us, whereas not.
But he can give you this letter. If he gave you this letter now, will you give them permission?
I'm not the registrar. He takes it to the registrar.
Well, but you have the information.
And I'm not the commander of Kampala Metropolitan. He takes it. He knows. He knows. He has held very many rallies. And I'm surprised why he's faking all this here. He knows. He has held very many rallies. And that's why when it comes to the issue of saying that the issue of overthrowing
inform the public how many we have held. There are very many. How many?
Go on.
What we are appealing to, dear listeners, is that we are not as police stopping anybody from holding a rally. But let's have peaceful rallies and let's work together. But when you all of a sudden want to hold a rally, you go to window and pick up people, you go to second market, really you are being very unfair to the citizens, to the public, because at the end of it, even you who starts it, you have no control over these people. And that is the essence of saying, if they have any rally or any plan to have a meeting, let us sit. And we know even the numbers, the people they expect, we control. Not anybody. Because people go with various intentions. More so with the threat of terrorism. If anything happened, whom do you hold accountable? Is it not the police? Now, at the same time, we realize that right now, because he's saying they are planning to hold nationwide rallies. It's okay. But we should also bear in mind that our children are going back to school. The parents are now preparing. 2, we have the graduation is going on at the universities. 3, we're having heads of states who are visiting us here. Yes. So if we plan together, we can say, okay,
can
agree, let us have a rally in Jinja, let us have a rally here, let this be the board. But really, if you want to take us by the horns,
that's going to be difficult.
That's going to be difficult, and you are being very unfair.
Honorable Mpuuga, that sounds realistic. Of course, you know, you're a politician, some of us are not. Suppose you went and sat down with these gentlemen and tell them we need to do rallies this year, and this is our calendar. What would happen from your own experience?
You know, Edmund and listeners, listening to Fandi Asuman here is easily believable. But if you've worked with them like myself, then you'll know that he's actually preaching water here.
I don't know whom.
I should not be working with you as an individual. You are part of you're part of an institution called police.
But you have never served.
Give us some experience.
I don't know what experience you have.
Of course, the IGP, the head of the police, has proclaimed variously that he will never, on time, allow us to hold rallies. At every opportunity, he will come up with an excuse to understand. He will tell you children are writing examinations. You now hear one Asuman saying children are coming back from home.
This is a fact.
Then the following day is telling you, then we have heads of state visiting us.
Yes.
Perhaps we should also get, before we plan for this kind of arrangement, we should also get the police calendar. When a rally is allowable and when they're not allowed. You see, when
you're saying you go with the schedule and then you begin to.
That's what I'm saying. That's why. And we've been very clear. When I held a press conference on Monday, I was asked as to whether we are actually opposed at any one moment to work with the police, and I made it very clear that the police is a part and a part of us, and we need to work with them.
But you haven't given them this letter. You haven't given them your schedule.
Well, Edmund, we'd better reserve debate about this letter because
right it's going to be very credible. They want you to sit down with them, and you appear to be side.
That's the point I'm making. And if you sat down privately with Fandi Asuman He volunteered the truth.
Yes.
Because he knows the truth.
Let's
What
get
is the truth?
the black and white.
The truth is, the police, unfortunately, the institution of the police is being used as a political wing of the ruling party. And at any one moment, they grog with pimples on hearing an opposition activity. And while, for example, the ruling party will have no problem undertaking any activity anywhere. I have seen the Member of Parliament for Kampala Central several holding impromptu gatherings. He's never been tear gassed or chased away. But it's very difficult for a Member of Parliament representing Kampala to invite people and have a rally. They will give all sorts of excuses. They will tell you they are not ready. But you ask him, who made them ready yesterday to tear gas Kizza Besigye coming from Oakland?
You're going to have lunch.
How do they ready themselves?
You're going to have lunch in the market.
How
The food was very good.
If you are all the time ready to tear gas and shoot at people, why don't you be ready all the time to protect them? So
How many bullets do you have in your body?
it's not about me. How many people did you kill in Masaka? How many people did you kill in
Can you
Kampala?
tell me how many?
You know the murder has committed. Why do you ask me?
No.
Did I have a gun?
Don't come here to tell lies.
Nobody was killed?
Yes,
Nobody was killed?
Yes, we know that a kid was killed.
Why?
In Masaka, it's
One person?
I don't know.
How many you killed in Kampala?
Maybe the ones you killed.
So don't kid about people's lives. I don't have a like a member in my body.
For all your insurance covers, Statewide Insurance Company Limited is the answer. We cover your motor third party, workers' compensation, health, travelers' personal and marine accidents, funeral expenses, fire and special perils insurance policies, and many others. You are at risk only if you're not insured by SWICO. We are located at Shore House, Plot 1, Bombo Road, Kampala, with branches in Entebbe, Jinja, Mbarara, Mbale, Masaka, Gulu, and Iganga.
John, Mike and I, we go back a bit. We knew John at the beginning, working for someone else. But he was different. He had vision, saw opportunities. He started working towards his goal, opened his own garage, and worked, learning the hard way. His reputation spread. Trust, consistency, quality. Soon people were coming to him from all parts. He made himself and his whole street prosper, and also helped friends, seeing potential in people and helping them on. But John never shouts about all his success. He's just who he is. Special.
So here's to men like John, who make a difference, who enjoy Nile Special, the rich, satisfying taste from the source. Nile Special. You've earned it.
Not for sale to persons under 18.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90 is brought to you by Stanbic Bank.
Welcome back on Spectrum. Tonight, the return of the walk-to-work protest. Should the activists behind this protest be allowed to operate? Our guests tonight, Hon Mathias Mpuuga, Masaka Municipality Mp, also coordinator of the FOC, or Activists for Change, who are behind the walk-to-work protests, and Mr. Asuman Mugyenyi, Acting Assistant Inspector General of Police, also spokesman of the Uganda Police Force. You'll be able to call in and contribute to this discussion in a short while. Mr. Mugyenyi, from the look of it, you people are scared of shadows. You won't let them. He says you refuse to acknowledge it.
That's not true. That's why I'm saying let's have a work plan, and we agree. The issue is that these fellows...
So they came with a schedule for the whole year.
We sit here and we agree. It may not be the whole year.
Or whatever sits and
No,
agrees.
not the police council. It's some few individuals.
Right.
We agree.
You tell the public what happened about our application to hold a rally at Kororo last year.
Of
You
course,
wrote 2 weeks in advance. What
the
happened?
issue of Kororo was that Kororo has its custodian. It is even in the guidelines which were given out by Human Rights Commission,
Which is a government body.
that if you are going to hold a rally, contact the owner or the custodian of the premises. Then, if he consents,
And
you
Kololo
go
Airstrip is run by the President's office.
by State House.
State House.
Yeah.
Not even President's office.
So that's what I know.
Yeah, ironical. And let me tell you.
So why don't you go to the State House and say?
Let me tell listeners that when we wrote to the IGP to hold a Kororo rally, we did it 2 weeks in advance, and a day to the scheduled rally, he writes back. A day.
Yes. You wrote 2 weeks in advance?
Yes.
He waits 1.5 weeks plus.
Yes. And then a day to the scheduled rally, he writes back and says, we received your letter, but then you have to get permission from State House.
Yes.
I said, now.
And you didn't try to State House?
We could not. I mean, you wrote 2 weeks in advance. So when I say he's preaching what I'm drinking,
I have no.
I have been into this, and I wouldn't believe him for a day.
Well, but why do you expect them to give you space? You want to?
But why do you want to take them out of you also?
I mean, that's the point I'm making. If anybody in the first place she knows that you like to overthrow them, it's the same IGP saying I should go and seek permission from them to speak to the people.
Yes.
It's actually.
So where do we go from here? What can we expect?
Let him tell us.
So what's going to happen?
Some of the insinuations are being made by the IGP for him he speaks, saying that he has credible information.
What's going to happen tomorrow?
No, tomorrow we have duly informed the police.
Yes.
And tomorrow we shall hold the rally.
In Katwe. Which part of Katwe?
I don't know which police.
Let him tell us. Let him give us some details. Maybe you'll agree after I leave this room. Well, give us some details of that plan.
The place is Katwe.
Yes.
It's actually in the middle of Katwe Township, called the Freedom Tree. It's a very famous
Lower Katwe
axis. It's a very famous place for rallies of this nature.
Right.
And that's where we shall be.
There are banners there already, or what? What have you done?
No, there are no banners there. We have made announcements on radio, and
so you'll have a platform with the megaphones and so on.
Where everything needed to hold a credible national rally.
And what will you have? You'll have drumming and people singing songs and so on.
Well, singing or not singing, we shall have a rally. What the accompaniment
2 o'clock on the dot.
Change certainly.
Who will come to speak on the podium?
Well, several activists will come to
give
speak.
Us some names.
Political party leaders, members of parliament, mainly from the opposition.
Give us some names, maybe 5 or so.
I certainly know that the Honorable Nabila will be the host. The Honorable Hussein Chanjo is there. The Honorable Kenel Chams will be there. Honorable Mao confirmed is traveling from
nobody from FDC.
Well, Nabila is FDC.
Well, someone more senior.
I have not yet confirmed from Dr. Besiji that he will be there. But
you think he's going to come?
As an activist, he's always there.
He had lunch in the market the other day.
Well, I think
not too far away.
Well, I'm yet to confirm from with him that whether he will attend, but I expect good attendance.
If he calls you tonight, you'll show up. You'll allow him to speak.
Well, why not? He's an activist.
How many people do you expect?
Is he an outlaw?
How many people do you expect?
In the range of 20 to 40,000.
40,000.
Yes.
That's 2 Nachivo stadiums put together.
Well.
So why don't you go back and you still have enough time between now and 2 o'clock tomorrow. You can burn the midnight candle, plan for this rally tomorrow.
I've told you we have not received any communication, and 2, it would also require us, because if he's
you need a lot of
lead
time to prepare for it.
If he's talking of a place,
you need sniffer dogs,
which can, of course there is a threat of terrorism.
Yes.
And a place where you are congesting so many people, first of all, he says it is in the middle of the center, it's a business center.
Yes.
2, the number you are saying is twice in Achivovo.
Yes.
You need really to sweep the
plan for them. Yes.
To control the people and clear who is entering.
Yes.
And it takes a lot.
Let's assume they fulfilled all your conditions and you agreed. Give us a snapshot of their logistics. How would you do it?
Of course, we would need to deploy and screen.
You deploy police.
But again, we need also
3 days, tents on the ground.
But also, the team, the officers responsible for policing that area need to visit the area. Because it's like getting this room, which is supposed to have 15 people, and you put in 100 people. What do you expect?
So you think that place might not take 40,000?
That would even be very, very unfair if he comes here to tell people that he expects over 40,000 people to be congested in that place. Because there are so many things that can
And if it's not big enough, you'll send them to Colonial Strip.
But this is the same man who said he doesn't know the place.
No.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying.
Well, we're dealing with...
I don't know. But you have said
assuming it's not
yourself
Assuming it's not big enough, 40,000, that's the working.
No, that's why it needs us planning together.
You send them to Nachivo Stadium or to Kolwe Airstrip? Send them to
Even Nachivo Stadium has the people who manage it. So I have no powers to say go to Nachivo. That's why it needs early planning, and we need to work together. If anything happened, who would be held responsible?
What would you expect?
Suppose, no, for instance, anything, a stampede can happen.
Yes.
Even just a small snake coming from that place can cause a stampede, and people run one another, and anything can happen. Do we hold Honorable Mpuuga responsible?
Honorable Mpuuga, how are you going to go around this now?
No, I don't want to sound simplistic on serious matters. We shall be in Katwe. The fund here is due aware. It is coming to 8 o'clock. Let him start deploying.
I cannot deploy.
I don't have any other.
As the organizer, we have to plan together.
Now that you have my communication, invite me and we plan. I'm duly aware you have my communication.
I don't have it. The one you have is for the studio, and you have not received it as an institution.
We shall meet at Katwe.
Please go ahead, but you will be held responsible should anything happen to the citizens.
And you will be indicted for incompetence.
Okay, but we shall hold you responsible first.
What do you mean by that?
No, we are telling him this is in black and white.
So you're going to let him have his rally. Then if anything goes wrong, you have his
No, we cannot simply
or send him an email
and wait for people.
You know, what shocks me is that they have lots of energies they expend in stopping rallies.
Yes.
But they would not use those same energies to protect and safeguard these rallies.
Why is
then
that?
You ask them, are you
why
a professional team or your team of managers?
I wish you knew the crime rate of Kampala. I wish. I'm sure the Honorable is reading that Kampala is one of the safest cities. It's not by accident. It's not Honorable Mpuuga who is patrolling Kampala. Even you walk here at night, which usually not happen in 84.
Thank you for doing the job you're paid for.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you that we are working, we are doing our job very well, and that's why you can have the time to come to the studio and go to your place at any time of the night, which was not happening in 1984. Uganda was there, you were there, was it there?
What happened? What happened in 1984? Tell us.
And so no police maintain the peace.
This is what I'm asking you. I'm telling you that we are working.
What had happened?
You are saying we are not doing the job and you are peaceful. So we are saying we are working. Even the international community is aware that Uganda and Kampala also is a very peaceful city, and it's not by accident.
So suppose they insist on holding this rally, what are you going to do? What plans are you going to undertake overnight and between now?
No, let's wait and see.
Well, but he's told you they're going to march into that place. 40,000 people.
I don't know where he's getting his 40,000. And where, first of all, he has said the place is small.
You're now listening to a political...
well, he's given you the information. He's spoken his conviction. He says they're going ahead. What
I've told you is that we need to go on the drawing board together and plan.
Well, he says it's too late. What I got between now and 2 o'clock.
Then if it is too late, he postpones. He postpones for the safety of the people. He is inviting.
Are you postponing that function tomorrow?
We are not postponing, and I've not said that's too late. He's the one saying he's unable. He's telling us that he is so incompetent.
I cannot tell. It's you who is incompetent. Because if you had informed us and you realized that we are equal partners and we need to work together, then you should have come and we plan together.
On Monday, yes, at 8 o'clock, I was with your assistant on a television. What matters? Which area was she talking about?
And then you're asking my assistant. I'm not with.
You work for the same institution?
Yes,
you spoke for the same institution.
But what she spoke, I was.
And you want the people to believe you, and you want the listeners to believe you.
I don't know whether the people you represent
stop telling lies.
Are now
getting
whatever you are saying.
You want to believe that you're a liar
who is even saying a small space can accommodate 40,000.
A place that you don't know, and you want to be believed. Go to the place.
I don't know it. This is a fact. I'm not in charge of Katwe Police
So
Station.
should people continue listening to you?
This is Spectrum on Radio 1. You can call him now. Our number is 0414-348-111. 0312-260-390. 0312-261-390. When you call him, please tell us your name and where you are calling from.
Hello?
Yes, Spectrum. Hello, your name?
My name is Makoro Kazuma.
Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Mpuuga for organizing a rally, and we shall be there as Ugandans who are fighting to be liberated. My friend, spokesperson of police, I thought you would have first apologize to Ugandans. The way you behave, police has been becoming an NRM organization. Why do I say that? You remember very well yesterday, retired Colonel Dr. Chizabesi came into the market just to eat food. But the situation you put there shows us that you are not fair to the people of Uganda. Lastly, why do you think whenever people cause rally, you should sabotage? Honorable Seneko one time said that I'm going to organize a rally at Kololo. You said you won't. Then what you want Ugandans to do when the government have already you've already put policemen on 6th Square? Then what do you want us to do?
All right. Spectrum, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, your name?
Thanks for the show, studio gentlemen.
Your name again?
My name is Saul speaking from Makere here.
Yes, Saul in Makere, go on.
Now, these gentlemen are just trying to squeeze out space for things that are supposed to happen, things that are supposed to be of value to this country. I mean, we are looking at them bringing up cheap talk about there being peace right now compared to the 1980s and earlier. Yet we have burning issues right now. We have people coming up to address these things. They are still rallying themselves up and holding out on change. I think Mathias has the right issue. Let them still sit down and avoid just spreading lies to this country. Thanks.
Spectrum, hello. Hello.
Peter is my name.
Peter, go on.
Thanks for the program. I don't have kind words for the police and the way they have mistreated the opposition. Because assembling and the people voicing out their grievances as far as politics is concerned is a constitutional right. So mechanisms should be provided to ensure that people are allowed to demonstrate as and when they want, to relieve off some people some angers and maybe force government change certain things in line with what people want. But at the same time, I have a problem with the opposition people. People like Mpuuga, if they try to do an analysis and find out the results of what they achieved in last year's demonstration, last year were in demonstrations, if they try to calculate how much did they achieve politically, because if they realize where they have been losing seriously, it is a strategy. Mpuuga has not had a serious strategy. Even in Masaka town, what are the people in Raka doing? Do they gain mileage in all these things? People in Aruba, people in Hoima where they have lost seriously. Why can't they organize the same rally, say, in Nakasongola where they have lost almost by negatives, not how to even zero, and try to change people's minds?
Spectrum, hello. Hello? Yes.
Hello.
Yes, your name. Good evening, your name?
Kalaba Christopher calling from Muruzila. I welcome all those guests you've brought for us tonight. Now, for me, my problem, I want to report to Afande that there are so many people who are losing their properties acting under traffic lights. I don't know why Afande don't deploy there at least security personnel to help us. Now, Afande, another question before I conclude. There is one problem with, I think, with the police. For me, I would like at least for once to see these opposition people holding their rally and the people just deploy their security. And we see how it ends. Because when you react to that in that way, it shows that maybe there is something behind your fearing. Kama Christopher calling from Muruzila.
Spectrum, hello.
Good evening, Edmund.
Good evening, your name?
Thank you for hosting the guest. I want to salute Assembly Asuman Mugyenyi, the spokesman of police, we as citizens of this country appreciate what you are doing, besides some shortcomings. And another issue goes to Honorable Mathias. The issue that we saw there is just a project from Masaka. Those guys most of them were supporting it. The motherland is from Masaka. So how can you convince us that you are just expressing the high tax, the high the people, the state of the people are living in, whereas you want power. You want to use the system which was used in Egypt and Tunisia. So for us, we elected government has just up less than a year. Thank you.
Spectrum, hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, your name?
Yeah, this is Linus.
Lynn, yes?
What? Linus. Now, security is aware that yesterday it was significant. The Mpuugas agreed to confront all in the city so that they can straight the army and the police. Then too is they are also aware that these guys are mobilizing bows and arrows and catapults to confront the police with, and that is not acceptable. Then finally, Mpuuga is questioning the competence of the Uganda police. But I came to know that if it wasn't because of the Uganda police, we wouldn't be moving streets of Kampala just like that. Good evening.
Hello. All right, let's get back to the studios. Honorable Mpuuga.
Yes.
Well, you had the callers.
Yes, I did listen to.
Have you audited the 2011 walk to work?
Yes, we have, and not once, not twice. We have sat down and looked at what happened, the gains and the losses. If we had enough time, I would have taken you through the genesis of these events.
Yes.
How we started and the response of the state. At the very beginning.
Take us through it briefly.
At the very beginning, when we held the investiture meetings and the various press conferences they held, the response of the state was being dismissive. They actually lived in denial until we pressed them and they began explaining to the people what was happening. They were busy saying, look, the economic downturn is not our problem. It's a global problem. Said yes, but we have a global government in Kampala. We have a government in Kampala that must respond to.
Elected by the people.
Yes, this government must be responsive. You don't simply say these are global problems. So at the beginning there was denial and calling us names, but as days and days turned one after one another, they were able to come out and say, look, yes, there is a problem. Who was saying fuel prices are running out of the roof? Where are the national oil reserves? We know they were sold. Now, after pressing them in this year's budget, they actually included money to rebuild.
So you're getting reserves from the work.
Certainly.
And you want to do a little bit more.
We have not even done an inch what we're supposed to do. And to answer my colleague who was saying, yes, we elected this government, is hardly a year in power, I would like to tell you that this is not a new government. This is the government of 36 years.
No, 25 maybe.
26 years. I'm sorry, 26 years. And that cannot be if you are 26. You're actually old enough.
Yes.
Surely.
You probably have a master's.
Certainly. Even PhD. Is it? So this is not a new government. We're talking about the failures of the last 25 years. But we are saying you still have a chance to make amends. All is not lost. But all we are saying that, look, will you please pay attention to the cries of the people? Will you please stop the corruption?
Corruption is a big problem.
Certainly. Will you stop, please, the opulence? Would you stop, please?
What do you mean by opulence?
The profligacy in the state house, wastage, going out of districts.
What do you mean profligacy?
Well,
too much wine.
I am a member of parliament. I'm a member of parliament, and I saw we actually fought to make sure that actually state house stops wasting money.
How do they waste money?
You know how much money is consumed by state house?
Go on.
In this year's budget, they actually ran away with 150 billion.
150 billion shillings.
Yes.
What can that do, alternatively?
Oh my God.
Hospitals.
Do you know how many hospitals can be equipped? This is the country where the National Referral Hospital has hardly seven beds in the intensive care, and all the 3 are functional. And here we are. Certainly. So we're talking about resource misuse, corruption, misgovernance. Certainly, at the helm of our quest is to see the relationship between the people and the government change.
Getting better.
Certainly.
Okay, before we hear from Mr. Mugyenyi, talk to us about the arrows and the bows. Do you have information about those? Ilino says, you have bows and arrows ready to confront the police.
Who?
You, FOC.
Well, let the spokesman tell the country.
I'm not the one who said that. You should answer, because maybe he has his own source from your group. But why we would really want to work with this group, whether it is FOC or any other group, is that once you plan together, then those mistrusts. The biggest problem is that Honorable Mpuuga has a lot of mistrust. So even if I did
from experience, he has a background to it.
No, he's just new in Parliament. He's hardly so many years.
And
he comes here and says he has a lot of experience on police and what? I don't know whether he was. Has he been in UPDF? Because at least we have been together with the all prison services. Then he would claim to know how we work.
Well, Asuman, you don't know me. You simply speak here.
No,
you don't know me. Just go on with your program.
No. You shouldn't tell lies, my brother.
I'm saying you don't know me.
You know Mpuuga, Honorable Mpuuga.
You know Mpuuga, the member of parliament. That's what you know.
I want to answer some more issues raised. That police is NRM. Definitely not. Because for us, we are not elected. We are a national police force.
But the president said the IGP is a good cadre of the NRM.
I'm not here to speak for the president.
Well, he's the boss of
those are words of the president, and I'm not a president.
You don't believe him?
Whether I believe him or not, that's not my take on.
Oh, but he said the IGP is a good cadre. That means the top.
Then
can flow downwards.
It, but not me.
You deny it.
As far as
he's not a good cadre.
And the words have no meanings. It depends on the subjective attachment you put a word. A cadre may mean anything. Yes.
All right, go on.
So, police is not an NRM, because police has been in existence since 1906 and will continue to be there. So, let us not mix the two. That police is sabotaging rallies, I don't think this is true. We have had very many rallies protected by police. What we are saying, that some rallies in many cases turn violent, because the people who organize these rallies do not even know the people they have called. It's like even these demonstrations.
Yes.
Some have ended up
for the maybe for
Can I talk?
Again. Yes, go on.
Yeah. To the extent that some of them have turned violent, other people have ended up being beaten by participants in these rallies, others being robbed, or the thefts happen. So that's why, even petty thefts.
Mobile phones,
Mobile phones and other personal effects.
Yeah.
So what we are saying, that my brother, let's work together and police these rallies. Because if you have a successful rally, I will have also had a successful day.
You can have a good report.
But if you have it alone, then you don't expect me to really...
I just want to lend him some of my time.
Yes.
To explain a single rally where activists fought with each other before the police at Yagasto, disrupted their rallies. Just quote one incident.
The problem is that you have had people who turn up burning roads, burning tires, throwing the stones.
During A4C.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You are wasting violent time.
No. If it is
if only you could distinguish between rallies and demonstrations, then we would speak in the same language. So let us be clear on what we intend to do tomorrow. I don't want to believe that you don't understand English. Tomorrow we are holding a rally, And we're not going to be holding a procession or a demonstration. It's rather to speak to the people, and that's what we shall have tomorrow. I'd like to advise the Afande to simply go and deploy. If you want to check out a few things tonight, please go. They could normally do. The last time I wanted to have a riot at Clock Tower, you deployed before midnight. Please go and deploy at Katwe. You have ample time
to create passages.
We shall be there tomorrow anyway.
And such individual bodies. Yes. We'll have to go. Thank you very much, dear guest. Honorable Mathias Mpuuga, Masaka Municipality MP, also Shadow Minister for the Presidency and Anti-Corruption. He is also the coordinator of FOC. That's the activists for change who are behind the walk to work protest. Thank you for coming to Spectrum tonight. Mr. Asuman Mugyenyi, as Acting Assistant Inspector General Police, also Director of the Police Political Commissariat and Spokesman for the Uganda Police. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Edmond Chizito. Spectrum will return tomorrow. Up next, though, is the news in English.
Fellow Ugandans, the United Nations has declared that access to the internet is a universal human right, along with access to water and food. Like the UN, we believe that every